Okay, hi everybody. I'm Nicole from Perfect Care Match. I'm a community case manager. And we wanted, it is Thanksgiving week, so we don't have anybody on our support group, but wanted to let everybody know that we do have this Dementia and Alzheimer's support group every last Tuesday of the month. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about redirection techniques and how it can be utilized with caregivers, whether it's family caregivers or home health aides or our CNAs, or even within caregivers within your facility. So we don't like to call it lying. We don't ever lie, but what we kind of do is these little fiblets, as I think Leah had said before. When we have a client that, is having some memory issues and, keeps going back to, this is where I live. I used to live over there. Where's my mom? Where's my sister? Being with them and in their moment is very important. If you, try to take them out of that moment, unfortunately, you can see some behaviors or just increase the confusion. So what we really like to do is be there with them. And if they're talking about their mom, say, oh yeah, what do you do with your mom? Do you like baking with your mom? Yes, we used to bake pies all the time. What kind of pies did you make? Cherry pie, apple pie, and kind of go along with them that way and redirect the conversation so they can feel at ease and decrease the anxiety and just be in the present and one-on-one with them. And that's the ultimate goal. Lots of other ways to do that, but that's kind of how we steer our conversations and try to be present and in the moment.
Yeah, I'd love to add to that too, because sure. I had an actual experience where a couple of them working with different clients, patients that had dementia. And I can recall a time where there was a gentleman that it was in assisted living, and he saw an article in the New York Times about Alzheimer's, and he has a diagnosis of Alzheimer's. And he was very, very upset and got agitated and was pacing around the unit, and folks didn't know what was going on, why he was so upset. And then they found out he had the article clipping in his hand, and he's like, I have this, and they're saying there's no cure. And he was actually getting to the point, he was working himself up so much that he was about to break through a door or something. So folks called on me because I did a lot of coaching on redirection. So I went down and I knew his profile. I knew that this gentleman really enjoyed cars. So to break up the staffing too, the staff said, Leah, we want to kind of inject you into the situation so that you can kind of come at him and talk about cars. So what I did, I just made a smooth entry. I just was like, hi, Mr. So-and-so, how's your day going? And he was like, not good. I need to get out of here. I've got this thing going on. And I asked him, what is it? And he was very upset. You could tell visibly sweating and everything. And I said, I'm sure it's something I can help you with. Let me find out more. And he said, well, here's this article. It says there's no cure for Alzheimer's, and I have this problem. And I said, let me see that. Let me read it a little bit more. I'm sure that we can figure this out. And so he handed me the article, and I said, you know what? Around the corner, there's this book that has a lot of information about Alzheimer's. I think it might be, scientific information there. So why don't we go over there and check that out? I put the article in my pocket, and I just started making chit chat. I took him by the arm, made contact with him physically and started rubbing his arm a little bit. And I just led him around the corner, and sure enough, there's a book, but it's about cars. Okay. not Alzheimer's. And I was like, hey, I heard you love cars. And he said, well, yeah, I do. So we sat down. I said, let's take a look at this car book, because it looks like a lot of neat cars. So we were looking through the book. We talked for about 45 minutes, and that article was totally forgotten about. He was more interested in telling me that I should run for president. I don't know why, but he thought I would make a great woman president. And maybe it's because on some level he knew that I helped him calm down, Right. And so I think that using that technique of knowing the person and what they really like and what the, you know, what really is agitating to them, knowing those facts is really critical. And then you redirect from there.
Right. Yeah. To kind of piggyback off of that also is, you know, when we do a perfect care match, having a new client, that's, you know, something that I like to do just to get to know the client a little bit more and the family if, you know, there is some sort of memory issue going on with everybody, but it's specifically with memory issues as well, to see what it is, what their interests are, and how we can prepare our caregivers to let them know that if there's, you know, if it's cars, like you said, or gardening or something like that to have in their back pocket, to be able to direct a conversation that way. If there is ever a time where the agitation or behaviors or anything, or just any, you know, anxiety starts to happen with our clients.
Yeah, I would always recommend that anybody in this predicament, family members, should kind of start to look at not just who mom was in the last 20 years, mom or dad, but who were they before age 40? Right. And those are really, really critical facts to share with your care team, because from there, they're going to know different ways to tap into how to remind them who they were. You know, I know that sounds odd coming from, you know, a standpoint of Alzheimer's, but with that particular disease process, the brain usually remembers sometime before age 40. So they're in a different age bracket typically in their minds. So that's why it's good to know so much before age 40, because sometimes you can remind them of things that inspired them, that relaxed them, that, you know, they enjoyed, if they're getting agitated, and get their minds redirected to something else. So Jackie, did you have anything you wanted to add about that?
Yeah, very, very similar to what you both were saying. I think focusing, knowing specifically what calms them down, their kind of like their flow, you know, something that kind of makes them feel comfortable. It might be something that they love to do, like you said, many years ago. One experience I had, my grandmother had Alzheimer's for over 15 years. She had a very slow progression. And one thing we found was super helpful for her was music. She loved music her whole life, but as she progressed, music was like medicine for her. So I remember as a kid, I would also, we would play like the AM, like the oldies, like 20s, 30s, 40s music for her. And of course it would be staticky on 80 AM radio. And I'd be like, this makes me nauseous. You know, do we have to listen to this? And now I listen to it and it reminds me of her and it makes me feel so comforted. But music for her, if she was, you know, frustrated or confused or having a tough day, if you just turn music on, she'd start dancing. And things like that, you know, I think they, of course, you know, with dementia, sometimes music can be really powerful just in general, but I think everybody's going to have something that works for them. So finding what that is, I think is so important. And then just embracing the good moments. You know, every day is going to be a little different. You're going to have good days and bad, just like we all do. But I think when you do have those happy moments, just embrace them to their fullest and really cherish them. And, you know, the person going through this you might see their personality change a little bit, but I feel like there's always some good within that, even if they're kind of, you know, again, as it progresses, they're going to have different changes, but there's always going to be some good, even in the tough days. So just really focusing on that, embracing that. The only other thing I would mention is really, it's so important to ask for help, whether it's from another family member, whether it's talking to someone like this in a support group, whether it's getting respite relief or, you know, hiring a caregiver, whatever it might be, asking for help. There is no shame in that. And when you are the primary caregiver, it's so important to recharge your own batteries and take a step away, because there are going to be those tough days. And I think it really allows you to be able to continue to help if you're able to take a little break whenever possible. So asking for help, I think, would be embracing, and asking probably be my, you know, two kind of takeaways.
I love that. I really think that's great input. I know that sometimes, you know, family members feel so responsible for their loved ones, and they do it to the point where they're actually affecting their own health. And so mom or dad most likely does not want to see that happen, even though they might not be in the best state of mind to be able to tell you that. You know, if you can think about how, you know, they would view you from a bird's eye view and see their daughter or their son being so stressed out and not really taking care of themselves, that's probably not what they want to see for you. So, just if you're ever feeling those moments where you're so intensely burnt out and you're so exhausted, and it's because you're doing everything that you can to make sure they're safe, they're having everything that they need, or even if it's a spouse too, you know, sometimes spouses are extremely affected. It isn't a bad thing at all, and they would want it if they were in the right state of mind for you to step away and take some moments for yourself. And even if those moments are just 15 minutes to go and breathe, you know, outside and connect with nature, do it. You know, those are moments that are precious moments. When you can find those little moments of embracing, you know, what the world has to offer you outside of stress and, you know, negative thinking, when you can look at things and say, oh, wow, that tree over there is inspiring me to actually feel good right now, or that flower, or I just saw a beautiful bird, I want to go take a closer look. Do that for yourself. Those are precious moments in life that, you know, even if you like write down a little journal note and say, I just went outside, I smelled like this fresh air, and I was able to, you know, see some birds and trees, and, you know, I thought about, okay, this is my moment to savor what's out there, you know, in nature, because nature is a great healer. I'm a big proponent of that, and sharing it with your folks that have dementia is also very important. I can tell you numerous stories about that, but I'll share one right now with you. So I had a gentleman that we were servicing before that had dementia, and, you know, the family was like, he's very depressed. He's just kind of quiet. He's not really, you know, feeling good. He's just not really talking too much. So I said, okay, well, you know, they wanted to explore a holistic route, and that's kind of where I came in. So I shared some essential oils with him. They set me up for a session, and I went in and I shared some essential oils, and I did some meditation with him. And, you know, we started talking about nature, and I found out that his favorite beach, where that was. And I found out what birds he loved to listen to. And I called them up on my cell phone and I played the bird calls. And this guy was laughing and smiling and interacting with me on a way that I didn't see when I initially walked in. It woke him up. It like inspired his brain to connect to those memories somehow. And, you know, it was a beautiful thing. And in different activities like this, believe it or not, even though somebody may not have been into that at all when they were younger, or, you know, parenting you, it sometimes shifts when they're in this predicament and they do become more open. I've done meditation with hundreds of seniors over the age of 85 and over a 5-year period. And, you know, you'd be shocked on how many of them embraced that and really enjoyed it. And it helped them, and it helped them really be in a good space for a lot of reasons. So, you know, these are just little tips that you can try, and we're always here for more advice. If you want to call in, you can always reach us at 1-833-PC-MATCH and visit our website at Professional Care Match is where you want to go. Do you guys have anything else you want to share?
No, I think, you know, for Thanksgiving week, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe and healthy, but enjoy, you know, what you can. And looking forward to speaking with everybody and talking to everybody again.
Yeah, we have some great events coming up too. We have some things lined up. The first week of every month on a Tuesday, we're doing pandemic fatigue support group. So, you know, ways to manage your stress, and everybody's tired of it. Everybody's having a difficult time. It's been a long time since we've seen normalcy, and, you know, the numbers are rising. So we're just talking about that, and we're giving different holistic ways to help manage your feelings about that. And then on the second Tuesday of every month, we are running a group, we're running a show for you on caregiver resources. So different companies that we're interviewing that help support seniors and empower them in their homes. So the next one is December 3rd. Yeah, I can't remember the exact date, but we have a reverse mortgage specialist, Michael Kennedy from iReverse Mortgages. He's going to be on that one. And then Randy Viragus from Boston senior medical will be in January for that Tuesday, the caregiver resources. And then on the third Tuesday of every month, I'm the star of that show, and I share different ways to manage stress for mostly professionals, but anybody that wants to tune in, managing stress from a holistic perspective using Ayurveda. Okay, so just so you guys know about me, I studied under Deepak Chopra, and I'm part of the Chopra Global group out of New York City, and I really want to share information about that and other modalities that can help you connect your mind, body, spirit, and get us through these unique times that we're living in. So with all of that being said, I'm really glad that everybody joined. Thank you, Jackie, and thank you, Nicole, for joining in. And we hope we see some folks that, we can meet new people that, want to talk and explore ideas and share what works for them too. So we're looking forward to growing this group.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.